What if I told you that the most iconic rock face in America wasn't always smooth, wasn't always vertical, and for millions of years didn't even exist? Picture Yosemite Valley 50 million years ago. No granite walls. No waterfalls. Just rolling hills under a quiet sky. The rock that would one day become half-dome was still buried 10 miles underground. A seething, molten chamber of liquid magma. It sat there, cooling slowly for millions of years. But then something extraordinary happened. The land above began to peel away. Not in a slow erosion, but in great sheets, like skin sliding off fruit. And what was left behind was a dome. A smooth, rounded mountain of solid granite. But how did that dome become the sheer, chopped face we see today? The answer lies in one of the most violent and beautiful geological stories ever told. Let's climb back through time. To understand the sheer face of Half Dome, you first need to know what came before the ice. Because the glaciers get all the credit, but the real magic started deep below. The Sierra Nevada was not always a mountain range. It was a massive block of the Earth's crust that began to tilt upward along a fault line on its eastern side. As it rose, rivers cut deep canyons. One of those ancient rivers flowed right where Half Dome stands today. But the rock was still mostly intact, a rounded hulk, not a sheer cliff. Then the ice arrived. Not just a little frost. A continental ice sheet, thousands of feet thick, ground its way through the valley like a slow, cold tsunami. Most people think glaciers simply sanded the rock smooth. But with Half Dome, they did the opposite. They exposed its weakness. You see, granite isn't just one solid block. It's crisscrossed with natural fractures called joints. At Half Dome, one set of joints ran vertically, like pages in a book. When the glacier plowed through, it didn't have the strength to grind the entire dome away. Instead, it exploited those cracks. It pried loose massive slabs of rock, one after another, and carried them away like crumbs. What was left was a clean, vertical face, as if a giant took a knife and sliced the dome in half. But here's the twist. Half Dome wasn't actually cut in half. If you look from above or from the side, you'll see it's only sheared off on one side. The other sides remain rounded. That's because the glacier only flowed in one direction, down the ancient Merced River Canyon. It scraped and quarried the side facing the flow, while leaving the rest untouched. So the iconic face we see today is essentially the inside of the mountain, revealed. A cross-section of geological history exposed to the open air. But the story doesn't end with the glacier's retreat. Once the ice melted, another sculptor went to work, weathering. Without the protective blanket of ice, the granite face began to shed its own skin. This is where the famous exfoliation process comes in. Granite, formed under immense pressure deep underground, expands when it reaches the surface. Like a snake shedding its skin, the outer layers peel away in curved sheets. You can still see this today, thin layers of rock flaking off the dome's surface. It's a slow, ongoing process, and it's why the face isn't perfectly smooth. It's alive with cracks, ledges, and fragile flakes. That same weathering created the vertical cracks that make modern rock climbing possible. But long before climbers arrived, this rock held another kind of magic. For the Awanichi people, Half Dome was Tizsarak, the face of a grieving woman turned to stone. In their stories, the dark streaks on the face are the tears she shed. It's a reminder that this isn't just geology. It's a place of memory, meaning, and myth. Today, Half Dome stands as one of the most photographed rocks in the world. But few realize they're looking at an inside-out mountain. A monument to ice, time, and the hidden architecture of the Earth. And it's still changing, still shedding, still being shaped by frost, water, and wind. The face you see today is not the face that will be here in 10,000 years. It's a snapshot in an epic, slow-motion transformation. One that began with fire, was carved by ice, and continues with every passing season. What other natural landmark would you love to see explored like this? Let me know in the comments. Your suggestion could be our next Wonder Explorer deep dive.